Namo Amida Bu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Bu. 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Excuse me. Good morning. Hello, everyone. That's some good pu'er tea. I guess for once I'm actually enjoying the holidays. The holidays. Since I've settled into my faith in Amida Buddha, I don't wrestle as much with a lot of trivial stuff that I used to. I don't needlessly overanalyze and try to fix a lot of stuff. And I say a lot of stuff because I'm not perfect. You know, I haven't gotten to the point where I got everything together. But since settling in my faith, I can honestly say this is the best holiday season I've experienced. It's not enjoying the holidays, it's enduring the holidays. And enduring the holidays used to be very difficult for me. Enduring the holidays used to be actually brutal. It was a war. It was a physical, psychological, and emotional battle because, I don't like the holidays. This was always the time in my family when a lot of drama took place and a lot of guilt. You should be more happy. I was never happy enough as a child for the toys I got, and I never reacted properly. And if I just enjoyed the toys as a child and started playing with them, then I was greedy and ungrateful. And your father worked so hard. Of course, most of this crap came from my mom, and she ruined every holiday some way. But that's in the past, probably not completely in the past, obviously, but still, I can honestly say this is the best holiday I've had. The best, what do you want to call it, December month. I mean, well, November, December, because it all starts at Thanksgiving. And by it, I mean all the crowds, the greed, the short-temperedness, the rudeness, and it's just part of life. But when you have Amitabha Buddha, and you have the name of Amitabha Buddha, you have someone to cling to. You have a shield in the name of Amitabha Buddha. And I mean that quite literally. I have seen things, protections, problems seemingly resolving themselves once I start reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha. And the name of Amitabha Buddha is a magical name because it literally does not come from us. The desire to say Namo Amida Bu does not come from us. It comes from Amitabha Buddha. It is placed in our heart by Amitabha Buddha. Whenever we have a desire to say the name of Amitabha Buddha, it's not like, oh, I've decided I'm going to say Nimbutsu. I'm going to do the Nimbutsu chant. We think that. That's not true. Not in the case of Nimbutsu, not in the case of Adidafat, in the case of Amitabha, in the case of Amitofo, Namo Amida Bu. That doesn't come from us. It can't come from us because it's not from us. Does that make sense? This comes from Amitabha Buddha. This comes from an actual being in an actual Buddha land. And that makes all the difference. And so when I say the name Namo Amida Bu, I'm not just reciting some religious chant. A desire has been placed within me to connect with the Buddha of infinite light and life. And a lot of people who say Namo Amida Bu don't realize this. It's just a chant. And you see a lot of, there are Nimbutsu chants on YouTube, and to the makers, it's a chant. It's a Buddhist chant. It's nothing more, nothing less. To those of us who have actually connected with Amitabha Buddha on some level, there is that knowing that he's real. There is that knowing that the Pure Land is real. There is no denying it for those of us who have connected with Amitabha Buddha. That connection is why this has been the best holiday season ever. And by the best holiday season ever, of course, I don't mean ho, 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 Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. That doesn't really apply to me, you know. Wonderful. What applies to me is hanging on, keeping my head above water, trying to maintain calm, and trying to stay focused on the Buddha while performing my job at work, while interacting with people in the various places I go throughout the day. As I become more settled in my relationship with Amitabha Buddha, as that becomes more and more my life, there is almost, how do I put this? It is a shield. It is a protection against the chaos and the violence and the insanity in this Saha realm. It is. And I think a long time ago I used to say, oh, well, you know, the Nimbutsu, it is the powerful name, but it is not a magical name. I don't know how you would define magic and not say Nimbutsu is a magical name. I don't know how anyone familiar with the word magic, and I don't mean occult, I don't mean magic with a K, I mean supernatural, something that exceeds the power and expectations of the mundane Saha realm we live in. By all accounts, from my personal experience, in my personal opinion, the most magical, mystical, contemplative power out there is the name of Amitabha Buddha. And, you know, that's why I entitled this video, you know, worshiping the Buddha of infinite light and life. Infinite life and light and life. I don't know. Life and light. Yeah, that's right. I'm not awake yet, guys. Sorry. Because my worship of Amitabha Buddha has become a way of life because of the name of Amitabha Buddha. It is powerful. There are protections. I'm going to get me a lighter, I'm going to get me a lighter mala. I'll be right back. It's getting a little heavy. No, but the power of the name of Amitabha Buddha brings with it protection. It brings protection from supernatural beings that can protect us from negative beings here in the Saha realm. And having been in the occult, having encountered a ghost at one time in my life, I know that these beings are real. There are otherworldly beings. And to pass this off and say, oh, that's just hokum, that's superstition, that's, it's BS. It's not BS. I don't think shamans, and mystics and Buddhas and bodhisattvas would be referring to these beings if they were just something made up, if they were just legends. Because our realm is not the only realm there is, obviously. Our realm is one of many realms. And scientists have actually talked about this. They've talked about the possible reality of other dimensions. I don't think it's a possible reality. I think it's a reality. I think it's actually very well documented. Anyone who surfed the internet has seen stuff. Anyone who has lived for a long time and who has been in any sort of deep contemplative spiritual practice has encountered spirits, whatever you want to call them, angels, demons, people who have been in a spiritual struggle. It doesn't matter what denomination you're in. If you're not just doing it to be part of a religious group or a country club, but you're actually seeking truth for yourself and you want to go deeper, you will experience forces outside of yourself. I've experienced this many times. Not because I'm, some great guru or anything, but because like any average person on a spiritual quest, you will come across these beings. And to some, they're called angels. To some, they're called demons, shadow people, ghosts, whatever. In Buddhism, we have our names for them. The name of Amitabha Buddha is a very powerful tool. And maybe that's not a right word. A tool is something you use to protect yourself. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Because I need protection. I need guidance. I need someone to turn to when I'm angry, when I'm about seconds away from exploding and doing something stupid or saying something stupid. And that's where the name of Amitabha Buddha always comes in. Well, the name of Amitabha Buddha is constant in my life. Everything I do, everywhere I go, shower, bathroom, toilet, shopping mall, Namo Amida Bu, Namo Amida Bu, Namo Amida Bu. Do I say it nonstop, constantly? No. I wish I did. It'd be a wonderful, wonderful. If I was the kind of person that didn't have all the obstructions and shortcomings and hindrance of an unenlightened individual, and that's what I am. I'm an unenlightened person trying to focus on Amida. we can do the best we can do as unenlightened beings. And I guess also maybe during this time of year, I've done a lot better at not holding the hypocrisy of Christians against them. Because I see as a Buddhist, I'm definitely not the best representative for Buddhism. But I think I am a good spokesman for the power of Nimbutsu in someone's life. I think I am a good poster child for the power of Nimbutsu because saying the name of Amitabha Buddha has so many benefits, healing benefits, spiritually, emotionally, and I believe physically. Oh, yeah, the sages talk about it. There have been miracles that have taken place from saying the name of Amitabha Buddha. And there are miracles that have taken place. I read a book recently on the miracles that people have experienced because of the name of Amitabha Buddha. Daily, I see miracles in myself, not just in my circumstances, not just in the continued ripening of my karma here in the Saha realm before I go to the Pure Land, but also in my personality. I am become more self-aware. In other words, I'm less clueless about the kind of jerk I can be. I've gotten better at cursing, actually, which for me is a big thing. Coming up in the heavy metal era, where the metal of thrash and grunge and hair bands, and there was a lot of foul language because it was a big deal, we were coming off of the 50s, and during the 60s there was the peace love movement, and during the 70s and the 80s we pushed the limits. We wanted to be shocking. And one of the best ways to piss people off was to use foul language. Because the attitude was basically, screw the man, screw society. And so I had that mindset, there was that rebelliousness, there was that anger, that there was that nihilism, that I guess to a certain extent I've carried into my adulthood. And sometimes it served me, most of the time it hasn't, because it's negative energy. And negative energy, negative speech, negative attitude brings more negative karma. And who needs that? I don't. And so then again, there's another benefit to saying the name of Amitabha Buddha. Nowadays, instead of cursing as much, I still curse. I focus on the name of Amitabha Buddha. And it is infinitely better to focus on the name of the greatest of all Buddhas, the Buddha of infinite life and light, than to focus on curse words, you know. This name is a direct connection to a living, actual Buddha. I mean, I want you to drink that in for a while. Think about that. In this day and age of materialism and speculation, think about the power of that statement. When I say Namo Amida Bu, I am connected to not only a living, enlightened master, but a totally enlightened Buddha, a being on the highest level of consciousness there is. Not only that, I am connected to the greatest, most powerful, beneficial Buddha, Amitabha. I say that without stuttering because I know of no other being that could have saved my life. Literally saved my life. I believe I'm alive today because of Namo Amida Bu. I am happy today because of Namo Amida Bu. That's not to say one's better than the other. The name of Amitabha Buddha is pristine and glorious and perfect, no matter how it's pronounced and what language it's pronounced. I'm just saying that to illustrate that during my time as a self-practiced Zen Buddhist, I started saying the Chinese Nimbutsu. That was my introduction to Nimbutsu. And I would go off on my lunch breaks, like I do now. I mean, nothing has changed for years. And at the time I started saying Nimbutsu, I was under horrendous stress. And I was not handling it well. But I kept saying it. And I kept saying it. And I kept saying it. And then I met Paul Roberts and joined his Yahoo group, True Buddhism. And one day I received Amida's gift of the one thought moment of Shinjin. That one thought realization that Amitabha and his Pure Land are real. And as I've said before, and I can't say it enough, it revolutionized my life. It changed my perception of life. It totally transformed my life. And it has been transforming my life ever since. That knowledge that Amitabha Buddha is real, and that habitual saying of his name. And even when I say habitual, it's not my habits that are making this happen. It is a desire placed within me to say the name of Amitabha Buddha. I'm letting go of so much baggage day by day because of the name of Amitabha Buddha. I don't try to fix my life nearly as much as I used to. I take care of business, My phone bills are paid. My rent is paid perfectly on time. Um, Gave myself a treat this holiday. I actually ordered a bunch of jasmine green tea pearls online. I love jasmine tea. But I have a good little simple life. It's got a lot of stress in it. You know, I work in the service industry. I deal with every personality. I deal with mostly very nice, decent people. But from time to time, there's always that mean jerk. See, I'm doing better about cursing, man. I mean, anyone who's been watching me for any time knows I would have used other terminology to describe people like that. But there's less vitriol, there's less rage, there's less rancid hate toward people like that now. I don't feel this need, this desire to get even. At one time, it was like a compulsive thing. Growing up from my abuse, coming out of my abusive upbringing, you know, I learned that from my mom. I learned that from my dad too, actually. You know, I'll get you. You know, I'll make you pay. You need to pay for what you did. Um, that was growing up Southern Baptist in Texas. Now I am a Pure Land Buddhist. I don't need to do anything. If someone hurts me, their karma, they made themselves pay at that moment. Their karma will make them pay. Because you can't not pay. You know, it's like hitting yourself in the head with a hammer. Ouch. That's what karma basically is. When you go to attack someone else, you're attacking yourself. When you build someone up and try to treat them with respect, you're creating that good karma for you. That's why Shakyamuni in one of the sutras said, if you seek to destroy another religion, you destroy your own. I don't need to name names. I think everybody knows the main religion I'm thinking of. It's, you know, if you make a career either collectively or as an individual in hurting and attacking others, all you're succeeding in doing is creating chaos in your own life. There is something so freeing, especially as I grow older now, in just letting go and letting Amida be Amida in my life. And I say this as a person feeling deep gratitude for this mindset. This mindset comes from this. Namo Amida Bu, Namo Amida Bu, Namo Amida Bu. Because I used to obsess about so much. I used to worry about so much. You know, and sometimes those habits come back. Sometimes, you know, you find yourself getting caught, getting stuck in old habits. then again, this is another great thing about the name of Amitabha Buddha. In a habitual sense, taking your focus off of old destructive habits and placing them on the name of Amitabha Buddha changes your focus from your neurosis to the beautiful face of the Buddha of infinite light and life. When you take your focus off of you and place it onto the Buddha, your life becomes focused on him. Your life is no longer all about you. Simple logistics, simple consciousness. It's not about me saying a chant. It's not about me gaining enlightenment. I can't. Chants don't do that much for me. Now, I must admit, when I was a Nichiren Buddhist saying Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, reciting the title of the Lotus Sutra, I mean, it's the Dharma. It's you are reciting a sutra. You are focusing on a sutra, and these things are holy. These things are sacred. And by all means, I mean, we're all at different places in our faith, and at that time, that's where I was. And when you're focused on the Buddha, the Dharma, or the Sangha, you're moving in a positive direction. And I think the most positive thing you can do as a Buddhist is recite the name of Amitabha Buddha, wherever you are in your faith journey. And I say this to Zen Buddhists, I say this to all Buddhists. I'm sure, some Nichiren Buddhists and others would take exception to this, understandably. But I cannot tell you how far up out of the sewer the gracious hand of Amitabha Buddha has lifted me. I cannot tell you how different I am from the person I was 30 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, I'm not as young and attractive as I was. I mean, I'm an old guy. But I'm an old guy who loves being an old guy now. I love where I'm at in my life. I love this faith I have been blessed with. I almost said that I found out of habit, because that's what you usually say. I found this faith. I'm so grateful. I didn't find this faith. This faith I was gently guided into this faith by the hand of Amitabha Buddha. I have no doubt about that. I was led from day one to the day when my karma would be ripened enough so that I would be receptive to receiving Amitabha's gift of Shinjin. Shinjin, of course, is just simple faith. It's childlike belief that Amitabha and his pure land are real, and a knowing that you will go there when you die. I had an interesting thing happen. Hold on a second, I'm going to throw this away. Sorry, not to be rude. I spilled some tea and I wiped it up with a paper towel and just threw it on the floor and just it's bugging me. I had an interesting thing happen. I had this sweet lady come up to me, and she's a Christian and she reads the Bible, and wonderful person. I know that's kind of unusual, me saying that about a Christian, but you know, she's kind of fervent in her faith. And she came up to me and said, I want you to know you're beautiful. And I said, oh, thank you, but and she's like, no, you are beautiful. And, I want you to know that you are made in the image and likeness of God, and you are blessed. And I want to tell you, God bless you. And I said, thank you. I said, you're beautiful too. And she goes, oh, no, no, no. I said, oh, yes. I said, I want to thank you because so few people go out of their way to say that to someone. And I appreciate your doing that. And I would go like that. She was saying, God bless you. And I was going, well, thank you. Thank you. Same to you. And there was no conflict there for me. I don't believe in God, the Christian Abrahamic God. I don't believe in a monotheistic, all-powerful deity. I do, as a Buddhist, believe in the existence of sentient beings known as gods. That actually makes more sense to me than this all-powerful deity that knows everything. Which I guess you could say Santa Claus goes into that category. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. I don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. I really don't. Now, if, somebody comes up to me and says, oh, do you know where you're going to go when you die? What are you seeking as a Buddhist? It's like I shut that down because it's like I cannot debate. I am Orthodox Jodo Shinshu Buddhist. This is about me living my faith. I am not a proselytizer. I am not a debater. I will share the Dharma. It's one of the things when I was a member of Soka Gakkai that used to bother me. It's like my personality is not conducive with ramming anything down anyone's throat. I have a very live and let live personality. Matter of fact, that's my outlook on life. Live and let live. Because I have utter and total faith in Amida Buddha's primal vow. I have faith in the 48 vows of Amitabha Buddha. I have no doubt that because this Buddha is a Buddha, eventually all sentient beings will be eventually brought to the Pure Land. May take gazillion years. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I know I'm going to be part of bringing that about because I am now part of the great Lotus Assembly of Amitabha Buddha. I know that in my next life I will sit before Amitabha Buddha and behold his beautiful face and worship him in a manner I cannot conceive in this Saha realm with my unenlightened mind. Today I say I'm happy, but happiness here in this Saha realm is at best bittersweet. And there are beautiful times. I mean, my goodness, yesterday the weather here in Houston was beautiful. It's and I love my life. Yeah, there's problems. Yeah, not so long ago I got robbed of my backpack in front of my job. You know, this is the Saha realm. This is the realm of suffering and desire. This is the burning house. And we're kind of stuck here in this realm. In this life, we have to deal with our karma, good and bad. I know better things are to come because I can't live forever in the Saha realm. My lifespan is not infinite like it will be in the Pure Land here. My life is very limited. Some people say it's like the blink of an eye, you know. And it's cool, man. As I've said before, my family feared death, which I thought was odd because, well, I did too, and it was hell. I discussed this with a friend recently. I said, I don't get it, you know. I am not afraid of death. I just see it as nothing. It's like literally a blink of an eye. I guess because I've had situations where I've come close to death. Like when I was literally run over on my bicycle going to work by a woman on the phone. I went down, man. I thought this is it. Um, and it's not like on in the movies, you know, you don't have a big symphony score bashing with cymbals and everything and violins viciously, you know, it's like it's almost like a dream, man. It's like, you know, splat, you're dead, you know, it's almost like that. And it kind of puts things into perspective. But I guess in my parents' mind, there was always the doubt, you know, what if I'm not really saved? You know, what if I got it wrong? You know, I could go to hell. I don't have that. I also don't have that atheistic problem where I'm like, oh, wow, that just sucks, man. You know, a former friend of mine told me, yeah, when you die, the worms eat your corpse and you're no more. Nah, that's not true. And a lot of people would hear me say that and think, oh, he's just whistling in the dark. You know, he's got to believe that. He's got to say that because, you know, Pure Land Buddhism, blah, blah, blah. Well, no. I say it because of Shinjin. I say it because I am connected with a Buddha by the name of Amitabha. Amida, Amitayus, Aidafat, Amitofo, Amitabha. This name is sacred. This name is life-changing. This is why this is the best holiday I've ever gone through. And it's been rough, like it always is. But it's been beautiful, like it rarely has been before. It's been extraordinary because of Amitabha Buddha. It's been beautiful because of Amitabha Buddha. It's been sacred only because of Amitabha Buddha. I am so grateful to this Buddha. I am so grateful to Amitabha Buddha. I cannot begin to explain to you my gratitude. I just the settlement, the feeling of comfort in the mundane that I have right now is so phenomenal. I think if I did not, I know that if I did not, had I not encountered the name of Amitabha Buddha, I would have either committed suicide or died of a stroke or a heart attack. I would have most definitely had a stroke. I remember times prior to encountering the Nimbutsu. There were times I thought I was having a stroke. I would get so stressed out at work that I said, "Oh, this is gonna suck, man. You know, I'm gonna be some drooling invalid in a wheelchair." Because I worried about everything. I obsessed about everything. What if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And I would frustrate those around me and they would say, "Look, man, why don't you just wait until it happens, okay?" And I couldn't. I couldn't stop worrying. I couldn't stop obsessing. I learned that. My mother taught me well how to worry, how to obsess, how to just, she would literally stand there and wring her hands and freak out about everything that could or would happen. And my dad taught me better than anyone, I think. My dad would stay up nights worrying about everything. And I told him once when I was a Christian, I said, "Why don't you just give it to Jesus?" And he went off on me. It's like, "You don't know what it's like. You know, you just sit here and reap the benefits of my money and whatever." It's like, whatever. You know, that's what you raise a kid, you take care of a kid. That's what you do. Yeah. But it's like, hey, I was a product of my upbringing. I was a product of my environment. It was what it was, but it was toxic. And it was toxic to those around me. And it was mostly poisonous to me. My personality was my destruction. And the thing about a borderline personality is you bleed emotion, you project onto everyone, and you are literally at war with your own thoughts. You live your life in emotional chaos, and all you want is peace. I had peace. Do you know how phenomenal that is? Do you know how extraordinary that is? To live that hell for 90% of your life and then to finally find the peace you sought. Excuse me. It is the holiday season and the leaves are falling and allergies. Sorry about that. But only people who have struggled in this manner or a similar manner can truly appreciate findings and then living simple faith in Amitabha Buddha. When you have lived a life hopelessly dog paddling in a sea of anxiety and fear and doubt and worry, to finally sit upon this rock or stand upon this rock, this foundation of the Nimbutsu, to find something that anchors you in sanity, to encounter something that brings you inner peace. This is the Nimbutsu. This is the name of Amitabha Buddha. This is the power of Amitabha Buddha, the life-changing Buddha, the Buddha of the purest love, the Buddha of the most glorious, deep joy. I have that now. And I didn't earn it. I didn't achieve a higher level so that I could receive it. Even though my karma ripened to the point where I would be receptive to receiving it. And by that, I mean, I got to a point in my life when I realized I couldn't enlighten myself through my own self-practice merits or efforts. I couldn't bring myself to enlightenment through my own wisdom. I laugh as I say that. My wisdom. No. I basically had to be so beaten down by life that having tried everything to gain enlightenment, having tried everything to free myself from my karmic baggage, having tried everything to break myself of the habit of obsessing and worrying and doubting and living a life in constant, not just fear, but terror of life itself, of hypochondria, everything else. I came to a point where I was willing to just trust that if this Buddha Amitabha was real, if he indeed had created this place known as the Pure Land, then he was able, in his time and his way, to bestow upon me his gift of Shinjin, his gift of simple faith in him, which would bring me to the Pure Land. And one day, when I least expected it, it happened. And I knew, without a doubt, it had happened. I have never once, since that time, desired to follow another path. I have never once since that time desired to serve another Buddha, to seek to read another religious book from another religion. It doesn't appeal to me. And it's not because that's what I'm supposed to do as a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist. It's because I have, in the truest sense of the word, been saved by Amitabha Buddha. And not just that I know where I'm going to go when I die. I've been saved. He saved my life. He saved me from the inner emotional hell that was the only life I knew. He saved me from the constant struggle of doubt and fear. He saved me from myself. And that is something I am very grateful for. Namo Amida Bu.